There's something that I genuinely don't think is being talked about enough right now, and sure, people are discussing it, rumors are flying, permits are being analyzed, layouts are being speculated on, but I don't think most people truly understand just how massive this is going to be. Universal Studios Florida is getting something enormous, something the park has desperately needed for years, something the park has been trying to become for a very long time. And the biggest question of all this is, how do you pull the plug on something this iconic and somehow replace it with something even bigger? We're talking about the replacement of Hollywood Rip Ride Rockit, and I'm telling you right now, without exaggeration, without clickbait, without the hype for the sake of hype, this replacement has the potential to be the greatest attraction in the state of Florida, and that's not a joke. Over the last several years, Universal has quietly, and then not so quietly, gone absolutely all in on thrill rides. While much of the theme park industry has shifted towards family attractions and accessible rides and middle-of-the-road experiences that appeal to everyone, that kids with a low-high requirement can experience with their entire family, Universal has done the opposite. They've said, forget playing it safe, we are going big. If you're going to talk about us, you're going to talk about our massive rides. That philosophy really took hold post-COVID. Jurassic World Velocicoaster was the first edition that really set the foundation for the future of Universal. It didn't just raise the bar, it obliterated it. It proved that Universal could build a modern world-class thrill coaster that didn't just compete with the best rides in Florida, but competed with the best rides on the planet. And sure, family rides are very important. They print money, they move massive crowds, they give you an incredible return on investment. But thrill rides are what put you on the map. They're what you advertise, they're what you put on the billboards, they're what people see from the freeway. They're what guests brag about. Looking at Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure, this ride is an incredible attraction. It's immersive, it's long, it's beautifully themed, and it's universally loved. But when people leave Islands of Adventure, what do they brag about? They brag about their ride on Jurassic World Velocicoaster. They're talking about the airtime, they're talking about the inversions, they're talking about the launch, they're proud that they rode it. And Universal understands this better than anyone. That's why we're now seeing Fast and Furious Hollywood Drift coming to Universal Studios Hollywood in California, a park that historically has never been a thrill coaster destination. For decades, the most intense ride that park had was Revenge of the Mummy, an indoor family coaster. So for Hollywood to get something this aggressive, this modern, and this ambitious, this alone tells you everything you need to know. And that decision doesn't happen without success stories like Hagrid's and Velocicoaster paving the way. Then, Epic Universe opened, and everything changed again. Why? Stardust Racers. This ride was not just a dueling coaster, it's not just a big coaster, it's one of the most ambitious roller coasters ever built, a modern reincarnation of the world-famous dueling dragons that used to be at Islands of Adventure. This was now executed at a scale and intensity that we couldn't have dreamed of decades ago. It's a technological marvel, it's a visual icon, and it's already in the conversation for the greatest roller coasters ever made. So now the question becomes, how do you top that? How does Universal continue to raise the bar when the bar is already at the ceiling? And that's where this Rip Ride Rockit replacement comes in. Now before we talk about what's coming next, we need to talk about what we're losing, because here's the thing. I personally loved Rip Ride Rockit. I know it wasn't perfect, it was rough, I know the mid-course brake runs killed the pacing, but the ride had literally everything. It had a great start with that vertical lift, it had amazing airtime, it had very aggressive forces, moments that would genuinely make you gray out, and for me personally, the ride that changed my life. Rip Ride Rockit is the coaster that got me into coasters. It's the ride that took away my fear back in 2015, and it's the reason why I went down this enthusiast rabbit hole. If that ride didn't exist, I wouldn't be talking to you right now. So yeah, saying goodbye hurt quite a bit. When it closed in August of 2025, it felt like the end of an era. And on a practical level, losing Rip Ride Rockit hurts Universal Studios Florida a lot. First, it was the icon. You could see it from I-4, you could see it from City Walk. That vertical lift and near vertical drop define the Universal skyline. Second, and the biggest one, capacity. Rip Ride Rockit was a people-eating monster. Omnimover style station, 12 riders per train, dispatches every 20 to 30 seconds. In a park filled with screen-based simulators and slow-loading attractions, Rockit was the great equalizer. Universal Studios Florida desperately needs rides that move crowds, especially during peak seasons. Halloween Horror Nights is the perfect example. When Rockit was open, it absorbed thousands of guests per hour. Without it, Lines exploded. This year, we especially saw 2 to 3 hour waits consistently for some of the big IP houses. You could feel that absence immediately. So whatever replaces Rip Ride Rockit has to deliver capacity, and it has to deliver it fast. This is where things get exciting. We all know that this is going to be made by Intamin due to the latest permits made, the manufacturer behind rides like Velocicoaster, Hagrid's, and now Hollywood Drift. Permits don't lie, and if Universal is going to trust anyone with replacing their most iconic coaster, it's the company that has delivered their biggest wins in the past few years. The rumored layout, well, we're going to credit this to Amusement Insider because he always is pretty spot on with these recreations, and Austin's an amazing guy, but this ride appears to use Intamin's new generation spinning coaster technology, and this is a huge deal. Spinning coasters, especially as of late, have not just become a gimmick, but become the most thrilling coasters to exist. Look at rides like Ride to Happiness at Plopsaland Japan, and also look at rides like Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind over at Epcot. These rides prove that controlled spinning combined with modern track profiling can create some crazy ride experiences, whether you have a fully controlled layout or a free/controlled spinning layout. This is going to be insane. Imagine all this tech combined with high-speed launches, massive airtime, thrill-level elements, and a tight, aggressive layout. That's what we're getting at here. One of the smartest changes, too, is going to be where the station seems to be located. The original Rip Ride Rockit entrance was awkward. It was kind of tucked in the back. It was definitely easy to miss. The new station being placed near Revenge of the Mummy and Race Through New York starring Jimmy Fallon makes way more sense. It balances crowd flow, it's going to anchor that section of the park, and it feels way more intentional. This is Universal correcting an old mistake. Now, there's been debates of the theme. Back to the Future, Ghostbusters, something original, but let's be real, we know it's going to be Fast and Furious. Hollywood Drift is proof of that. This ride system was made for a Fast and Furious themed attraction. And with that, Fast and Furious Supercharged already closed in Hollywood, and likely on its last legs in Florida. The writing is on the wall. This is a reboot. It's a redemption arc for what is arguably the worst attraction ever created in the world. And honestly, it deserves it because the Fast and Furious franchise has so much potential for a large attraction. It was just executed so poorly, and now this is Universal correcting their mistakes. Now, the space is brutally tight. There's nothing massive they can do here. There's no sprawling elements they can do over the sound stages. They can't put a zero-G stall across the entire park. But Rip Ride Rockit proved you don't need endless space to build a long, intense coaster. And with this layout, with the rumored spike, the out and back layout, and the possible nods to Rocket throughout the entire ride, like a non-inverted loop or a top hat style element, tell me Universal knows exactly what they're doing. I feel like when you look at this layout, this feels like Hollywood Drift meets something like Tutatis, and that combination is terrifying in the best way possible. When it came to Florida coasters especially, they used to focus on quantity over quality, and now this is no longer true. Mako changed the game when it opened in 2016. Iron Gwazi raised the stakes in 2022 along with Velocicoaster in 2021. These two rides reset the standard for Florida thrill coasters. Stardust Racers shattered expectations, and now we have this. This could possibly be the best coaster on Universal property, possibly the best coaster in Orlando, possibly the best coaster in Florida. You could even say the best coaster in America. Universal is not playing it safe anymore. They are swinging for the fences, and if this replacement delivers even half of what is promised, it's going to redefine Universal Studios Florida. I cannot wait to watch this thing rise up from the ground. I cannot wait to see the skyline change. I cannot wait to ride it. Let me know what you think about this replacement in the comments down below. And as always, it's Hunter from Theme Park Hunting, and I will see you all later.